We the original born men. They don't want us to understand. Wipe away our history. Was part of their plan. No matter where you're from, we're all Africans. It's all about divide and conquer. Just up a lot of confusion. The truth is, it's all an illusion. They lied to you and me. We came here enslaved. So how there ever really gonna be any unity? How they have so much hate for our community? Open up your eyes, cause you need to see. You rape my people, you kill my people. Basically, everything you stole from us. We built this country with our blood, sweat, and tears. But you still never show us no love after 400 years. You wanted to see the destruction of the black man. You blame us, then you try to turn us against us. Make us feel less than a man and a woman. You my brothers and sisters, know one thing. We all kings and queens. Yo, tell the world that we kings and queens. Yo, we kings and queens. You need to know that. They need to know that. We're kings and queens. We're kings and queens. For centuries, they try to destroy our families. Now they're trying to take away our freedom again and destroy our unity. Cause they know something's special inside of you and me. We're kings and queens. Yo, make sure that you know that we're kings and queens. Go and tell the world that we're kings and queens. We're kings and queens. They mad cause they couldn't control us. That's why they wanna kill us. Why do the enemy have so much envy for us? Mama always told us we were kings and queens. We come from royalty. So nothing they can tell me will ever faze me. Yo, I love this dark skin that's on me. Even though they try to harm me and send out a whole army to murder me. Man, they got so much hate for me. They say my skin is my sin. They call us animals. Y'all wild savages. History shows us that. Time and time again, they don't try to deny it. They try to make us think that we have no worth. But I am king, and here's my queen. Can we stand? And to my children, if no one ever told you, I'm here to let you know that we're king and queens. For centuries, they try to destroy our families. Now they try to take away our freedom again and destroy our unity. Cause they know something's special inside of you and me. We're kings and queens. Yo, make sure that you know that we're kings and queens.
So I want to say hello, everybody. This is me again, Russell Mills. Today is that July 16th, 2023 on Sunday. I want to say hello. That was my brother, DC, the musical artist. So it's DCEETHEMUZIKALARTIS. He actually has some videos on YouTube. Clap your hands. I would never be like them. You know what I'm saying? Check out my brother right there, Kings and Queens, you know. So I had to play that. I like that song. But yeah, today's segment, if you want to call it, I'm going to play a little Ben Shapiro talking about colleges and politics. So YouTube, this is, just me playing it. So don't ban me for trying to, because I know YouTube's becoming very sensitive nowadays with playing people's clips and all this other stuff, which I don't understand. This is supposed to be a platform. So I'm gonna let Ben Shapiro talk. I don't want to talk no more about this.
We'll get to the scam that is our college system in just a second, because that's what underlies all of this. Joe Biden is upholding that scam. Like, Joe Biden says that he's going to hold colleges accountable. How is he holding colleges accountable? By giving them money? He's not clawing back tuition from these colleges. He's not going to. These scam little universities that exist in low-income communities, prying money out of gullible people in order to give them a crap degree in hairdressing. He's not going and prying that money back from those people. He's not doing that. He's not sticking his DOJ on these organizations. He's not doing any of that sort of stuff. He is paying them. You understand that when he helicopters cash to relieve loans, what he's doing is driving up the price. He's driving up demand. He's driving up their profit margin. That is what Joe Biden's doing. He's paying off these places. Here's Joe Biden.
We're holding colleges accountable for jacking up costs without delivering value to students. We've all heard of those schools luring students with a promise of big paychecks when they graduate, only to watch these students be ripped off and left with mountains of debt. And my president looked the other way, for some reason, with good reason, to do anything about this fraud. My administration is taking it on. For example, last week the Department of Education fired a college accreditor that allowed colleges like ITT and Corinthian to defraud borrowers. And combined with our emergency actions, the Public Service Forgiveness Program and other actions we've taken, we've been able to cancel more than $32 billion in student debt for 1.6 million borrowers, including those defrauded by these bad acting schools.
Okay, what he is doing is actually driving up, again, he is driving up the profitability of these organizations. He can sporadically claim that he's going after ITT Tech, or he can sporadically claim that he's going after this local hairdressing university. But on a broad national level, when you subsidize people to go to these places, what you are doing is making them more profitable. And then, of course, Joe Biden says we're not done. We need even more free college. Right? 12 years of free education in the United States isn't enough. We need 16 years of free education. Now, here's the thing. There are many places all over the world that actually do subsidize college. But one of the things...
We're on Google's roof and we're about to throw the new Google Pixel in a mouse case!
Commercials, which I cannot stand. So hold on one second. Since
the things they do in order to subsidize college is they start tracking you in junior high, in high school. They start moving you into a field of study that is likely to lead to a job. They are not interested on the government level in subsidizing your aspirations and dreams to be the next Andy Warhol or the next J-Lo. That is not in their mode of interest. Instead, what they are attempting to do is prepare you for the workforce. But that is not what Joe Biden is talking about. When he says everybody should have a college degree, what he means is you should be able to study anything you want, and then no matter what you study, you should be able to earn $200,000 a year. And then if that doesn't work out for you, we're going to relieve your debt. Why does he say this? Because his entire Democratic coalition is low-income people and college-educated white ladies. That is his entire Democratic coalition. And who do you think he's attempting to appeal to here? That is the whole predicate for this policy. Here is Joe Biden, again, subsidizing the biggest scam in American education.
When America made 12 years of public education universal in the last century, we became, not figuratively, literally, the best educated public in the world, and better prepared than any other nation. And I would argue that it's one of the reasons why we were so successful and have been so successful. But as you've all observed, other nations have caught up. In the 21st century, in my view, I think the vast majority of Americans, 12 years of universal education is not enough. And that we're going to be outcompeted by the rest of the world if we don't take action.
We're going to be outcompeted unless we start relieving student loan debt for people who, didn't finish college or didn't get a degree that was capable of earning them out on their loans. That's what's going to do it. Because here's the thing, America has a bifurcated higher education system. When it comes to STEM, we are really, really good. People from all over the world are still coming to top American colleges and universities in order to learn. Okay, and then there's the rest of the university system, which is, I keep saying scam because it really is. What you have to understand about the way that colleges work in the United States is we have been, since 1950, in the process of basically saying to most Americans that the baseline degree in order to hold a job is a college degree. And that is a massive mistake. All that you have done is taken a bunch of jobs that don't require a college degree and now force people to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans and debt in order to get a job that does not require them to go to four-year university. In 1950, 7.3% of American men and 5.2% of American women went to college. In 1980, that number was 21% of men and 13% of women, a nearly threefold increase. As of 2019, 35.4% of men have gone to college, so had 36.6% of women. So why exactly is that necessary? Is that because everything went into the service industry, or is it because if you try to get a secretarial job now that would not have required a college degree in, say, 1960, you now have to have a four-year bachelor's? Everything requires a college degree now. And here at my company, by the way, we don't do this, right? If you can show work experience, very often we'd rather have the work experience than the college degree. I went to UCLA and Harvard Law School. Both of my business partners never graduated from college. One never even won. Okay, because the reality is that success in American life should not be reliant on receiving a credential from a top university where basically you learn to speak woke, where you learn how to put pronouns in your Twitter bio. But that's the entire goal here. This credentialism has largely come at the expense of blue-collar people, many entrepreneurial people who would have been better off just getting an apprenticeship in a particular business. Because here's the reality, and every employer knows this. When you get a kid straight out of college, you get two things. One, you know their IQ because you know where they went to college, right? That's all college is. It's a giant organizational feeding system. I would be better off in many cases just looking at the SAT score of people coming out of high school than I would them coming out of college. I know if they come out of college, two things. Where they went to college, which means their IQ, and two, that they have no idea how to do the job I'm about to put in front of them. Because no one in human history has been qualified to do a job coming out of college before doing the job. The way that you learn to do a job in the United States is by actually doing the job. All we have done is delay, for most people coming out of college, the actual business of getting on with their life by 4 years while they party and drink. That's true for everyone in the liberal arts. Okay, I'm a liberal arts guy. I went to poli-sci major at UCLA, and let me just tell you, it was a completely useless degree. It was useful only in getting me to law school. And when it came to Harvard Law School, I can tell you that year 1 was useful, year 2 was less useful, and year 3 was a complete waste of time designed to drive up debt, so I had to work at a major law firm and pay it off. Okay, that's what it was. And everybody knows the scam. Everybody inside the system knows the scam. There's a study from Harvard Business School professors Joseph Fuller and Maniari Raymond in 2017 finding that degree inflation is undermining U.S. competitiveness and hurting America's middle class. Like degree inflation, the notion that you must have a degree to get X job when you really didn't need the degree for X job. Fuller and Raymond explained postings for many jobs traditionally viewed as middle skills jobs, those that require employees with more than a high school diploma but less than a college degree, in the United States now stipulate a college degree as a minimum education requirement. Our analysis indicates that more than 6 million jobs are currently at risk of degree inflation. That was in 2017. It's gotten much worse. And the people it's predominantly hurting are blue-collar people, minority people, people who may not have gotten a great high school education. Those are the people who are getting absolutely slammed. The demand for college graduates is leading to a massive increase in the number of Americans pursuing postgraduate degrees, right? Because if you go to college and college is the new high school, well, this means that postgrad is the new college. If you want to work as a teacher, you now need a master's in ed. So the credentialing and the inflation of the credentialing is now continuing across time, delaying people getting into the workforce, forcing them to earn more and more degrees. The number of Americans over 25 with a master's degree doubled between 2000 and 2018. 13.1% of people have a postgraduate degree as of 2018. And again, this doesn't mean that they are better qualified than if they had gone to if they had skipped college in the first place. Because the reality is that only by working a job do you actually get good at the job. This doesn't mean that nobody should go to college. Right? If you're majoring in STEM, if you're majoring in medicine, if you're majoring in math, you should go to college. If you're preparing for a law degree and you need the pre-law in order to get the law degree, in a better system, you just go directly into law when you're 18 years old. But if you're not going to do that, then perhaps you have to get the degree. But the notion that everyone has to go to college is a complete ridiculous nonsense principle. It's stupid and it's bad, and it's bad for America. And what this means is that we now have a completely bifurcated economy, right? Your ticket to admission to the economy is now an inflated college degree, driven by a left-wing institutional bias in favor of people who go to these colleges. And so if you want to get a job, you have to go to these colleges. Between December 2007 and December 2009, which was the Great Recession, college graduates actually increased their employment by 187,000 jobs. Everyone else lost jobs during that period. So what do you think people are going to do? You've created an entire incentive structure for people to go to college. So people go and they take out debt. And then many of them shouldn't be in college in the first place. Many of them drop out. And then many of them don't earn the sort of income they thought they were going to earn. And then Joe Biden, generous Joe, Santa Claus Joe and the Democratic Party, they step in and they say, unconstitutionally, we are now going to pay off that debt, which of course exacerbates the system and makes it worse. It continues to drive up the price. It continues to drive the credentialing craze. It continues to drive middle-class people out of this market. It's insane.
So you hear our brother Ben Shapiro speak about colleges and scams. And to me, I think colleges is too much. And again, I feel like a lot of people, especially these colleges in general make a lot of money. Reading some on Google, right? It says in 2019-2020, total revenues at a degree-granted post-secondary institution in the United States were $695 billion in contest 2020-21 dollars. Total revenues were $438 billion at public institutions, $242 billion at private non-profit institutions, and $14 billion at private for-profit institutions. It says, what is the revenue of a university? Revenue of a university means all incomes, receipts, and revenues, whatever nature received by the university, which is entitled to receive it as an owner, operator, and manager of the university, including legislation of can't even say this word, of special and revolving funds. This is in the academic year 2019-2020, private for nonprofit university and college in the United States received a total of 13.06 billion US dollars of revenue through the tuition and fees charged to students. How much does Harvard make a year? In fiscal year of 2022, total operation revenues increased to 11%, or 587 million to 5.8 billion. Harvard's diversified revenue portfolio relies on three main sources of revenue: education or tuition, sponsored research, or philanthropy. So all I'm saying is to us, and just like I'm kind of agreeing with what Ben Shapiro is saying, it's like no one's saying you shouldn't go to college. All I'm saying is the money that these colleges make are ridiculous. And to me, some of these people that go to college are having useless degrees, like he just said, like we've all heard many people say over the years. And to me, it's like you're going to spend all that money, be in debt just to try to get a job. You know what I'm saying? Just to try to get that quote unquote ideal job. So to me, I think that's a bunch of nonsense. If I was smart, I'm not, and I was stupid being a knucklehead in my younger days. Now I'm getting older. I'm not saying it's too late because nothing's really too late, but at the same time, it's still going to be harder. But what I'm saying is you should go into a trade. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll tell you one thing: if people got into the trade industry more, electricians, plumbers, you know what I'm saying, whatever, and you did stuff like that, become an electrician or plumber or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and you can build stuff and you go to school for that, that's a beautiful thing, because that means you're not going to be paying all this debt, even in the trade school, even if the trade school is 10,000, let's say in total, let's just say, you know what I mean, for X amount of year, 2 years, let's just say hypothetically 10,000 plus. That's a lot cheaper than you paying X amount of dollars a year being in a 4-year school trying to get, a degree. So to me, I don't know why America's so stupid sometimes. It's either you go to school or don't go to school. But I tell you, if more people didn't go to schools, to these colleges, these colleges probably be lowering the cost. You know what I'm saying? If people said, I'm good, I don't want to go, right after high school, I'm going to a trade, or I'm just going to go get a job or work whatever, try to work my way up through the company if you can, no matter what type of job it is. So I just think it's a bunch of nonsense. I think it's just too much money, and I think America needs to wake up. You know what I mean? And I think it's not fair how everything's just always about money all the time. And I understand you have to make money to live, and if you have businesses, you also have to do things. You got to pay employees benefits on, and I get all that. But what I'm saying at the end of the day, it's just too much. And I feel like it's just too much money that where people are paying to, to these institutions that don't give a shit about you in the first place, but they're taking money. And even if you don't graduate and you drop out of school and you still got to owe that money, if you ended up doing whatever, and it's like, is it really worth it? No. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people I'm not going to get too much into that, but I just wanted to play Ben Shapiro talking about, colleges and the scams. And it's like, I think I agree with everything he's saying, you know what I mean? And it's like, again, we need to wake up. And I'm going to say this to us as parents, if we have kids, get your kids in a trade. If you can get your school kid in the school, get them in at least like a 2-year college. You know what I'm saying? Where junior college, which would be better. You know what I'm saying? Even if he or she gets an associate's, it doesn't matter. You know, get something, but don't stop at that. You know, try to get a trade too. If you can get an associate's degree or if you can go get a trade just as well, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to make a video today. I want to say thank you for anybody who's ever watched any of my videos. I would like my videos to be more. I don't know how I have over 648 subscribers and nobody watches my videos, which doesn't make any sense. So my question is, if you are a subscriber, you don't watch my channel, unsubscribe from my channel if you want to, because I don't want to, I don't want people wasting my time or your time. You know what I'm saying? So but at the end of the day, I don't get it. But if you want to watch my videos, type in my name. It's Russell Mills, RussellMills, May 22nd, 2017. My first video is called Why Black People Settle for Less. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. All right. Thank you. Bye.